Hello guys, I am back from another video and today we're talking about Deku was a mercenary. So, in the last video Deku, after Izuku woke up, it's finally the weekends where Izuku had a date with Jiro. They had some fun, but it's finally time for him to leave. So, after Izuku leaves, Izuku was also told that he's going to be going to a party to guard Momo from potential assassins and, you know, kidnappers. So, when Izuku arrived there, Izuku was wearing a fine suit, and several girls and, men started looking at him because of his tan skin, thinking that he's just a slave. But when Momo tells Izuku to act like a bodyguard to protect her from these guys from, literally trying to, hit on her, well, they left because they don't want to mess with Izuku. But several of the girls wanted to ask Izuku if he was, single. Izuku told them that he's obviously, dating somebody, which is his fiance. They basically left. So, apparently, his mother, or at least his, adopted mother, Sakura, was actually gonna be moving, gonna be going home late. So it's better for Izuku to sleep in the mansion. So, Izuku was told that he's gonna be sleeping in the, maid's quarters, but unfortunately, most of the maids that are young, like, maybe like 19 to 18, they were looking at Izuku, mostly because, he's pretty powerful, and he has a high-paying job. I meant. So, Izuku was told by, Momo that that he can basically sleep in her bedroom. Izuku was very thankful for that, mostly because he doesn't want to mess with, that. So, after Izuku decides to sleep there, let's just say Momo had a weird interaction in her mind. She wants to, have fun with Izuku, and if you don't know what fun means, well, just fill in the dots. So, she started fighting herself, thinking that she couldn't do that because, Jiro would be mad. But she can't take it anymore. But, unfortunately, she fell asleep. As Izuku came back home, as Izuku was completely tired and basically goes to sleep. So, that's basically the summary about what happened last episode. And so, let's talk about what happens next. So, Izuku woke up pretty early so he can have a jog and also some exercise. So, after exercising for a while, Izuku takes a bath, wears his uniform, and starts moving on to go to school. So, when Izuku arrives there, several of his classmates were talking about mostly some normal stuff, mostly about like work and things like that, as they were told by Aizawa that we're going. I meant, I'm sorry, it's just my stuttering a little bit. I recently, my throat started hurting and I started sounding like that, so I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna be having my cough medicine later, so don't worry. I don't it's not going to be like a regular occurrence anymore. Don't worry, it's going to be soon gone. The, coughing. So, Aizawa tells all of them that they're going to be having the sports festival pretty soon. In fact, apparently it's going to be next week. Everybody was excited, including one of the people being, Bako, saying, I'm going to show off everybody that I'm obviously the best. As everybody stopped cheering, as Bako said this. Hey, why did you stop cheering, you damn mongrels? As Izuku just says this. Mongrels. Why does that remind me of somebody? As Izuku remembers a little man during his time when he was, training how to be a mercenary. Back in the day, he remembered a horrible, horrible politician. He was the mayor of a certain town, and he basically called all of his, subordinates and the people that, live in his town as mongrels, and were pretty horrible. He did horrible deeds to, like, people, literally abusing his power for whatever he wants. As Izuku stops thinking about it, Izuku just says this. Oh yeah, he reminded me of that horrible politician. Unfortunately, he died by my hands. So, when Izuku stopped thinking about it, Aizawa tells everybody to start training very soon. And also, they're not going to be having class today because they're going to be doing all of the training for the rest of the week. So, everybody starts leaving, including Izuku, as they start leaving to go do some training. So, Izuku goes to a little gym as everybody starts seeing his toned muscles. Some of the girls in the gym said this. Is he one of a regular member, or as one of them said this? No, he recently arrived. As the other guy said this. Damn, he looks strong. Heh, a promising person here. As one of them, being a girl, which started working out, said this. So, what is he? Is he new here, or as she says this? Yeah, I think he's new here. I never saw his face before. Izuku started lifting off some weights, some pretty heavy ones in fact, as Izuku goes to a little training area for quirks. Apparently this actual gym is actually for heroes. And for heroes in training like Izuku was given a discount. Wait for a second. So, when Izuku goes to that little area for heroes in training, or heroes in general to train, Izuku started using his quirk. Izuku starts using his, quirk to create little knives. These knives were thrown at a Tommy mat. If you don't know, Tommy mats are actually used for training, well, samurais, or at least, people that want to learn how to use a katana. I actually learned this from a certain YouTuber. I'm not going to say his name because, he's actually pretty good, and, he has a lot of subscribers already, so I'll just give you a little summary about him. He basically absolutely loves her, and by the way, he is Japanese. So, after Izuku sliced almost all of the Tommy mats with his quirk, one of them being a employee says this. Hey kid, what the heck is your quirk? Seriously. As Izuku just says this. Knife creation. Or just, blade creation. I'm able to, create any type of weapon that has a blade. Like, for example, swords, knives, sabers, anything that has a blade. But, unfortunately, I can't make axes, guns, or anything like that. As he says this. Whoa, it actually sounds pretty powerful. As Izuku just says this. Anyway, I'll be leaving. That's enough training for now. As Izuku starts going to the showers, they start showering off. While Izuku's there, Izuku just stops the shower and starts cleaning up. As Izuku leaves. So, the next day is some more training at the park, where Izuku starts jogging because apparently he's going to be having a obstacle race. So, Izuku started learning how to sprint and going as fast as he can. Even though Izuku's a mercenary, speed is not his strong suit, but Izuku's remedying that by using his quirk. So, Izuku learned that there's this type of blade. This blade is more like a mix of a cutter, like a pizza cutter, and a blade, which Izuku did it and made blade roller skates. As Izuku starts training with them, Izuku doesn't know how to use roller skates, by the way, so it was pretty hard for him, but during his time training with it, Izuku learned how to master it and basically become a pro. So, while Izuku is at the park, Izuku sees some people, as these people were pretty familiar. As Izuku realizes that in the middle was Jiro, and apparently these goons are actually Jiro's father's, guardians. Or should I say his, or her, what do you call it? Her bodyguards. So, when Izuku saw that, Izuku just says this. Hey Jiro, I didn't know that you came here. As she says this. Wait, Izuku, I didn't know that you came here. As Izuku just says this. I just came here to train, nothing more, nothing less. As she says this. Cool. So, Izuku, are you like, free or anything? As one of his goons, or her goons, says this. Hey, Miss, wait for a second. Miss Jiro, what are you doing? What are you talking to this fool? As she says this. I guess you didn't, see him before. This is my fiance, Pete Izuku Midoriya. As one of them said this. Wait, you're married? Huh. I didn't know that, well, Miss Jiro actually had a fiance. Nice to meet you. And by the way, if you dare hurt her, I will kill you. As Izuku just says this. Try. As Izuku starts creating his blades. As the goons start stepping away, as Izuku just says this. Hey Jiro, you're training, right? As she says this. Yeah, how about you? As Izuku just says this. Wait for a second. Sorry about that. So, Izuku just basically talked with the guys, and by the way, these are like Jiro's bodyguards. After Izuku talked to them a little bit, Izuku hears the sound of something weird. Izuku hears Jiro scream, as everybody, including the guards, or bodyguards of Jiro, started moving out and hears the scream, as they see Jiro being, trying to get, by some guys. As Izuku saw it, let's just say Izuku was pissed. After all, Izuku is, after all, her fiance. Her fiance, I meant. So, Izuku starts creating several blades, as Izuku throws them at the faces of these people, as one of the, remaining said this. Who the hell are... As Izuku looks over, it's just one of his red eyes, just his red eye, just piercing back at him, feeling that his soul is going to be ripped off of his body, as Izuku just says this. You dare try to get my little sweetheart. You dare to try and do whatever the hell you want. You piss me off. As Izuku just tears him apart, just ripping him, tearing him apart. As Izuku creates two... What do you call them? Izuku creates two scimitars and starts stabbing them right in the chest of the guy, as he screams out saying, I'm sorry, as Izuku just creates blades that are actually like in a mask, the mask that Izuku wears, and stabs them into the face of the man. So, after Izuku does that, all of his bodyguards were kind of impressed. One of them said this, so, you really are protected of this, of Our Lady. As Izuku just says this, obviously, I'm after all married to her. As she says this, Izuku, thank you. As she hugs Izuku, as Izuku just says this, don't worry, nobody will hurt you. Promise. So, after that day, they basically left, as Izuku starts moving on. And by the way, during that time when it was pause the video, I was doing my exams. Sorry. So, after Izuku does that, he basically goes to sleep. So, the next day comes as it's more trading, and it's going to be the final day where they're going to be doing the sports festival. So, Izuku started training more and more. As Izuku starts doing his shadow boxing routine. And if you don't know, shadow boxing is basically like regular boxing, but you use your shadow to do your form, which is kind of a cool idea, even though it sounds like, kind of dumb and, kind of lame, but either way it sounds cool. So, After a while of like shadowboxing, Izuku stops as Izuku decides to get some rest. After Izuku does that, Izuku sees Momo. Momo arrived at at Izuku's place because she wants to talk to Izuku. But when she was told that Izuku is currently at the gym, a specific gym for heroes, she arrived there, and when she saw Izuku just, finished his workout, let's just say she kind of nosebleeds as she says this. Izuku, I'm really sorry I'm walking into you, as Izuku just says this. Don't worry. Besides, it's nothing, weird, is it? As she says this. Yeah. She starts, like, covering her face, but she still has, she makes some gaps so she can, like, see Izuku's, like, entire body. Because, she's a simp. So, after she asks Izuku about many things, mostly about, like, she's gonna be starting her training for the UA Sports Festival, Izuku just says this. Okay. Wait for a second. If you want to, train with me, then yes. So, she starts training with Izuku as she learned how to make boxing gloves instead of her usual staff. Izuku, while training her, many people, mostly the girls, started to feel like disappointed because they actually wanted to date Izuku and ask about his routine. But unfortunately, they beat it, they didn't beat to it. So, Izuku's now training Momo. So, after that training, Izuku says goodbye, as she also says goodbye. So, after Izuku came back home, Izuku decides to get some rest again, as it's going to be the start of the UA Sports Festival. So, Izuku goes to sleep again. So, this will be the actual end of the episode, and yes, it's a bit short, but I'm currently resting my voice because it feels like it's in pain. So yeah, I'm really sorry that I'm not gonna make not making this video a bit longer. It's not my fault. It's my voice. So yeah, I'm really sorry that I'm making a short video this time, but don't worry, I'm gonna be making a long video tomorrow. So, I hope you liked the video, comment and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys next time. Bye-bye!